welcome back to Ritual Audio. Today we're checking out the TC Electronic Third Dimension Chorus. This little box promises those 80s lush guitar sounds in a super simple format. If you're chasing a classic clean chorus sound that won't break the bank, then stay tuned. It's not your typical chorus pedal, there's no rate or depth knobs here. Instead you have 4 clickable preset mode buttons. Button 1 provides a subtle light chorus, and button 4 provides you the deepest, richest chorus. You can click multiple buttons at the same time for up to 16 different combinations. Under the hood, this is an all-analog pedal providing a bucket brigade circuit. This means it is closely based on a lot of the old school pedals from the 80s. Sound it produces is often referred to as a motionless chorus. It kind of doesn't warble too much, it doesn't get too cheesy. The pedal it's based on, you may know, the Boss Dimension pedal. In the last few years, Boss did release the Boss Dimension Watercraft pedal. I had an original Boss Dimension, and the TC Electronic is close enough for me. Build quality is amazing, metal chassis, I don't think it's going to take too much damage on the road, and the buttons feel nice and sturdy, lots of good click in them. It is true bypass, so your tone's going to run through this unaffected, which is always a nice touch. You can power it by a 9-volt battery or with an adapter in the back here. One caveat is that this pedal is not stereo, unlike the Boss original, so if you are looking for that swooshing between 2 amps kind of sound, you're not going to find it here. Overall, as you can tell, the features are very simple, plug and play, just gives you a really nice chorus sound. Okay, so let's hear how it sounds. I've got my Fender Vintera 250 Strat hooked up straight into the TC Electronic Third Dimension, into Logic Pro, and using the new Nembrini Jazz Amp sim. First of all, without the pedal engaged, this is my clean tone. Turn it on, no buttons engaged. See, it's almost like a secret setting. It gives a little something. Now let's engage button 1. Remember, that's the most subtle. Now go to button 2. Button 3. And button 4. Now I'm going to bring 1 back in and go button 1 and 4 at the same time. One, 2, and 4. Last but not least, 1, 2, 3, and 4, which happens to be my favorite setting. So let's talk about the pros and cons. You get that authentic 80s sound. As I mentioned earlier, it has the Bucket Brigade circuit. If you're into Prince, The Police, Chameleons, any of those classic 80s artists, you are going to be able to nail that sound with this pedal. Super easy to use. There's no tweaking whatsoever. Just plug it in, click a button. And if you like it, play away. This is a budget-friendly pedal for sure. I think it's around $40 to $50. I paid 60 Canadian. If you compare that to the Boss Dimension Wazacraft, that's $270 Canadian. You do save quite a lot there. And mentioning the Boss version, that brings us on to our cons. The most obvious one, of course, is no stereo output at the back there. Hasn't been an issue for me. I don't use a stereo setup. It's not affected me. I used to own one of the original Boss versions and didn't use a stereo setup then. So I can't say I've experienced that. Maybe I'm really missing out. I'll have to find out in the future. That kind of lack of tweakability, some might not like. I often do like to plug my guitar in and just play, so I really like being able to just pick a bunch of presets, put them together. There is a slight volume drop I did notice. I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell. Let's actually engage some of the buttons. It's minimal, but it's there. Being an analog pedal, of course, there can be issues with the headroom. If you feed a really hot signal into it, it will distort very quickly. Overall, do I think this pedal is worth buying? Absolutely. This is my version of the pedal. I've owned it for years. If it broke, I would buy it again. Absolutely. Might even consider buying a second, just in case. If this pedal got discontinued, I wouldn't be very happy. I haven't really heard it for myself, but people do say the Boss Wazacraft Dimension DC2W, I think, has that little more air or magic to it that the TC Electronic can't quite recreate. Again, I've not listened closely enough. I'd have to spend more time with the DC2W. There did also used to be a pedal called the Behringer Chorus Space C, I believe. It was essentially the exact same innards. Since TC Electronic and Behringer are now owned by the same company, I think this is just a recreation of that exact same circuit with much better housing. We all know and maybe aren't too fussed with the plastic Behringer housing. You might also consider the TC Electronic Juno 60. Obviously that's going to create more of the sound of the Roland Juno chorus. But if you're looking for a more simple, turn a preset on kind of thing, that could definitely be an interesting result. To summarize, of course, the TC Electronic Third Dimension Chorus is not as versatile as other chorus pedals on the market. For me, it's the perfect chorus pedal. It definitely holds its own. I would say it punches way above its weight considering the price and the build quality. Totally giggable, amazing sound, rich, as 80s as you like. Absolutely no complaints from me. Could you call this pedal a one-trick pony? Maybe. I just so happen to really love that trick. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I believe people have called the Dimension kind of concept the chorus for people who hate chorus. I actually love chorus, so that's interesting to hear. I love chorus pedals and modulation pedals in general in all shapes, sizes and forms. This has earned a coveted spot on my pedal board. I think the only way I could see moving this off the pedal board is if I eventually broke the bank and reached out for the Boss Wazacraft Dimension DC2W. Honestly, at this price point, I would say the TC Electronic Third Dimension Chorus is a no-brainer. If you enjoyed this video, please do consider liking and subscribing. I make videos like this once a week. If you have any questions about the Third Dimension Chorus, or you want to let me know what your favorite chorus pedal is, please drop that below in the comments. Thank you for tuning into Ritual Audio, and I'll see you next time.